Hmm.
Where is okay? All right. Well, if we did this right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Alan C. We got the president and station manager for Innervision FM. We're joined by our resident time traveler. He's a couple hours into the future. And we have one of the stars of Innervision FM, uh,
Hmm.
the Innervision FM universe. Her name is Velour.
Oh,
So
yeah.
let's get started.
And like I said, her time is 2:30 p.m.
Yep,
or around that time.
in
So hey,
Alaska.
so that's wild. I had a friend that him and his father, well, his father was a preacher in Alaska, and he says it was very convenient. Well, it was just very convenient when his pastor when his father would do these ceremonies for people that had gone into the next life. You didn't have to do much preparation, and that was what I remember in high school. He was telling us about. So, and then I heard Alaska 6 months night, 6 months day, and so that means the nightlife for 6 months must be really rocking.
So actually, it's funny you say that. I thought that too. Like, it's 6 months night, 6 months day. So how much people live up here? It's like so crazy, but it's actually very normal. Like
Hmm.
nightlife
Sunday.
is just the same, except it's sunlight outside. And over here in Alaska, everybody wears sunglasses at night, because it's like sunshine outside.
Is it too cold?
So
That's
Probably
wild.
an
it's
80s
actually a
sun
purpose.
somewhere.
And tanning beds in the winter.
Danny? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
vitamin D.
But
So,
yeah, it's nice.
so
It's nice.
Alaska, you're not from Alaska though. You are actually from Florida?
Yes, yes. Actually, I was born in Mumbai, India, and then I moved to Florida, and now I'm in Alaska. I like to travel and see the world. So, yeah, I have a huge background. I never thought I would be staying here, but Alaska is so beautiful, and I think people don't know how normal it is. I used to think everybody lived here in igloos and things like that, but after coming here, I was stuck in traffic. And there's a
Wow.
Costco here, and it's just a regular life right here. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
I lived in Alaska for a short time in Anchorage.
yeah,
It
that's where
was
I
in
am.
the winter time, so it was a little bit tough, but I'm not any worse than Minnesota where I'm from. So
I
It's
hear
got to be
that.
no more tough than Cripple Creek in the
Hmm.
middle of winter time with no wood.
yeah.
Below, the house internal temperature reaches about 10, 15 degrees if you don't have heater on.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, it gets cold.
Wow. Yeah, that does sound cold.
Hmm. So you create a visual um, image for each song. Uh, now how does that work? Were
We
you born in
paint
an
it.
artist family, or this is just came out of you, and no one in your family is this creative and musical?
I did have my grandma was very creative, and my mom growing up, she enrolled me in a lot of classes. And I think I was, when a child is born, they just enroll them in everything. Maybe one of them sticks. So my mom
Wow.
enrolled me in like painting classes, piano classes, and dance classes. She just kept enrolling me in all these classes, and I was genuinely interested in all of them.
Hmm.
And yeah, I'm happy to be doing what I love. So.
Uh,
That is awesome. That is awesome because you see, when you are actually doing something you love and you do happen to get paid for it, perhaps, you know, it's not a job anymore. It's
Yeah.
wow, it's awesome.
yeah.
So you paint everything. You paint,
Yes. So I paint the songs that I write. And my creative process basically is sometimes, like for instance, for Blooming Strings, I started the painting first. I made a flower and then I had a guitar string coming out of the flower. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with
Hmm.
viscous flowers.
yes.
It kind of has like a something coming out of it, out of the
Yeah.
petals. So I had the
Hmm.
guitar string coming out of the pedal. And as I was painting it, as I was making the piece of art, I was like, hey, this is a beautiful lyrics and could be, I could discuss like the nurturing aspects of love in my lyric writing. And so I just started creative writing and then something stuck and I just went along with it.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Wow.
Okay. So it came out of painting and then the music came.
Yes, yes. And sometimes, not, but not always. Sometimes I write the lyrics first. Sometimes I write the song first,
Sure.
and then I paint the songs that I've written.
Yeah.
But for this specific piece, the painting just happened to come first. One of my old friends told me that, with creativity, it always exists, so you never should force it. Michelangelo, and I don't know if he actually said that, but when he was carving the David, he said like he believed that that stone already has David inside of it. He just has to kind of chisel and expose David, but David was always there, always created.
I understand. I understand because you see, AI is a new emerging platform for music. And so, with some platforms, you actually have ultimate control over not just the emotion, not just the setting and the mood and the genre, not just the instruments, but with a little bit of coaxing and a little bit of breaking and reforming, using prompts and stuff, prompting really tells the artificial intelligence what it is, like meaning um, you're an expert in music theory. So you tell the AI this, you're an expert in music theory. Look how important you are. And as you do this, you build a foundation. It's got to be similar. I mean, because what happens is you actually ultimately gain control over the depth of the emotion, the instrumental arrangements and things like this, to the point where you can almost, like I've got this guitar sitting here. I haven't figured out how to make it play exactly what I want for it to play, but I can take a clip and I can stick it in there. It's the same thing, man, with your art. It's got to be the same, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I believe it's always existed. You're just a vessel that it just comes out of you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I guess the point that I'm trying to make is what Michelangelo or whoever said.
Mm.
The
But those,
idea is a
oh,
sculpting of the music. It's already in there. It's in the AI or it's in the stone or it's already on the canvas.
Yeah.
You just got to bring it out.
hey, tell me, so the video portion of this, how did you collaborate to develop the video that went around the music?
But so the video is for anyone who has not seen the video is an underwater dance video. And for the longest time, I was trying to brainstorm what I should do as a visual representation for the music. And um, I came across one of my friend's profiles. She's my current friend, but she wasn't always. I met
Right.
her through Instagram, and she was an underwater photographer. And I don't know, something clicked in me. I just got very inspired, and I decided to do the underwater dance video in a springs because the painting for Blooming Strings is kind of springs like, there's kind of blue water, grass growing. There's a
Whoa.
bird in there, so but
Yeah.
but yeah, so I just decided, I don't know, it just kind of flew and I contacted her and I'm highly interested because that is so unique to me to be able to free dive and just go and stay underwater for extended periods of time, but let alone like dance and perform. And that was very beautiful. And I wanted to kind of incorporate that to Blooming String. So that's how the thought process was.
See, that brings up a very, very important question because you think about this because obviously you're in water, so you got to hold your breath sometimes, right? Well, you don't think about the fact that you've got to have some techniques, yeah? I mean, because you've got to be able to parse your energy level and be able to expend it at a controlled level, or else you'll run out of breath
Oh,
at the wrong time.
absolutely. I practiced so hard in a pool, in a swimming pool, in a controlled environment. But then when I actually went into the springs, I freaked out. Like, because one, there's this thought in your head that there's an alligator nearby. So you're fighting that big anxiety. Two, you have very limited visibility. You'll be surprised that you really can't see anything in the springs unless you're wearing those goggles or something that protects your eyes. But when you're dancing underwater, I didn't want to wear like any swimming goggles. I wanted to have my eyes open. So I didn't wear any swimming goggles, I saw sand in the water, and that only increases your anxiety because you start to think about Jaws, like the movie, like maybe a
Yeah.
shark or something is just going to come out of the water at you. And then underwater pools are not usually as deep as springs are. So when you sink, you keep sinking down, and so you have that much more to travel up. And so that was definitely an unknown aspect. And are you guys good
Get in a
swimmers by any
hurry.
chance? All three of you, are you guys good swimmers?
Oh yeah.
I am.
Yep.
I don't know if I can maybe hold my own. I don't know.
Yeah. So when
Yeah.
you're swimming in the middle of the water, you lose your sense of gravity and
Yeah.
you don't know which way is up
I
sometimes.
was just going to say that being a blind guy,
Yeah.
and also going deaf,
Yeah.
yeah, I have great difficulty in water, determining which way is up.
Yeah. It's and
So go ahead. Go
it
ahead.
was very limited visibility, so I can only imagine how difficult it was. Yeah, I was struggling with where is gravity, where is up, but I knew that this was going to happen, so therefore I had a lifeguard with me, and he made sure that okay, if I'm struggling in any way, to just come save me. And that happened almost every single time. Like every single attempt I made, I was struggling. So he saved me like every single time.
So did they
Without him, I
bring
would not be here.
do they bring a tank
Right.
down with air so you can, put that
No,
in?
no.
No?
So this is
Oh,
free
wow.
diving. So this is a new skill. If you're interested ever, free diving, you don't wear anything as far as
Hmm.
Yeah.
oxygen retent
Yeah.
goes. You just go down and you just have to practice the ability to hold your breath for extended periods. And I used to think that, hey, like if I'm holding my breath for 5 minutes, like I'm not alive. But apparently there are people out there who can hold their breath for 20 minutes.
Well,
Wow.
My
Anyway, Smiley.
lifeguard was like more than 6 minutes or 10 minutes. He could hold his breath like that long. It was crazy.
Wow.
We used to do snorkeling in the ocean and stuff, and going underneath the water. You can be on top with the snorkel and everything, but then when you're going lower and lower and lower, it's like, oh, how much further can I go
Yeah. Yeah.
before I run out of breath?
Yeah.
I do know that living with extreme cold, it's got to be important. At least for me, it had to be important to be able to conserve energy, control heart rate, control breath. So I know a little something, not much, but enough to really kind of conserve strength, energy, that kind of thing in extreme cold temperatures. I I learned how to build a fire with a stake and a rope, a little
Wow.
contraption, that I make, and some kindling, and a good wood burning stove really helps, and a nice, at least have to have shelter, because when it's that cold, you have to have something. Living off the grid is it's peaceful. It's very, very healing to the spirit and the soul, but it's also, oh wow, it's very trying in the wintertime.
Yeah. So tell us, okay, so you were in Florida and you moved to Alaska. What was the thing that you had to get used to? What was the biggest adjustment that you had to make?
Um, the isolation, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's very easy to make friends in Florida. It is also, I don't want to say it's harder to make friends here, but it's nice. You really have to get yourself out there and really put yourself out there and be
Hmm.
an extrovert. And I would say I am an extrovert, but I'm also an introvert sometimes. So So I think meeting new people, making new friends, maintaining those new connections and relationships, would personally, this is just my personal opinion. Someone else may find that very easy, but personally, I found that a little challenging. And then, as you mentioned, for snow, um, because winters can be harsh here, so we are kind of, especially during winter, kind of cooped up in our houses.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to travel sometimes during winter, so that is a disadvantage. But this
Hmm.
previous winter apparently was not as bad as from what I'm told.
Hmm.
It snowed in Florida though, but
Wow, yeah.
but
Sure did.
but yeah, it wasn't as bad in Alaska this previous winter. But yeah, that's
So
a challenge.
I'm gonna get a picture. So are there like how you said like uh was there houses like side by side, or is it like a house here and then go a few?
So it's actually, I can take you to the view I have right now, but I
Okay.
don't know if you can see, but like it's actually
No. Give us an audio description of it because
audio description.
yeah.
So I would say the houses would be, yeah, houses are side by side. There are no igloos, at least
Okay.
not where
Where in
I
Anchorage are you?
Anchorage. But there are villages here,
Hmm.
in certain parts of the state there are people who live in igloos. And it's actually, I learned about this. They can create a lot of heat. Igloos can create a lot of heat inside, which is
Absolutely.
nice.
Hmm. And
So,
as far as like food, is there like do you have a greenhouse or do you just depend on food being imported in?
So, food, as far as food, yeah, food gets imported from like different countries or cities. I
Mhm.
know they do a lot of deals here. Whenever you go to the store here, there's like stuff coming from Korea and Japan into the stores here,
Hmm.
even from Canada and the lower 48s. Amazon surprisingly delivers here very quickly. So
Yeah.
it's actually shorter wait time. I ordered this morning, I get the package by the evening. So I'm not sure how that is, but
As technology improves, the drones and stuff like that will be able to fly in conditions that are not as conducive to, say, the bigger planes that have the pontoons, this kind of thing. They'll be able to drop packages with some precision because obviously they've got quasi military technology. So,
yeah.
they can get that stuff within a X foot radius that is not available, just plain not available. I mean, except
Yeah.
for in certain circumstances. So,
Yeah.
tell me, where do folks find your music? This is fascinating, Velour.
Thank you. So I have a website, www.iamvelour.com. And if they just go on the website, I have all my links from Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music on there. They will also have a chance to take a look at my gallery, my art gallery, take a look at the visual paintings. I also have merchandise where I'm selling some necklaces or jewelry
That's
or
cool.
clothing based on my art, and just getting to know me. That I think that is the best way.
Yeah.
And if they want to say hi,
Hmm.
there's also a contact page where they can fill out a message. And I love to respond to people, so I'm a people person, so they'll definitely hear back from me.
Hey, now tell us okay, so you went from like Florida, which I'm thinking like your clothing line probably it
Oh yeah.
reflects that, but now are you sort of mixing in the clothing line where you are now?
You know what? That is such a great question. That is such a great question. And until you just asked me that, I didn't even reflect on that. But you're right. My clothing line is all like for Florida people, and I'm in Alaska. I gotta come up with a like an Eskimo jacket or something. It has my
There
payment
you
on
go.
it.
That'd be
But yeah, it's
awesome.
a very good question. Thank you. The answer
Wow.
is yes. I'm gonna think about it.
Yeah. Now, of course, because you're now here, the I guess you're working on your next LP.
Yes, I
Um,
actually released a new song today on Spotify, and it
hmm,
has like a reggae feel to it, and you can dance to it. I try to make a lot of my songs something that you can dance to, and it doesn't have to be a fast dance, but something like kizomba. Are you familiar with kizomba dancing by any chance?
No, tell her.
No. So yeah, there's kizomba is a kind of a slow, sensual type dance, and kizomba or bachata or salsa dancing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because
Okay.
you done some ballroom dancing, so
Yes, yes.
you incorporate that into
I
some of the
yes, in the songs and stuff. And Alan, actually, because you mentioned that, you feel you're going deaf. I actually have students who are deaf, who
yeah.
are dancers as well. And I always tell people, like, dancing is for everybody. And it's about movement, it's about feeling free. And we all have rhythm inside our heart. Our heart beats a specific way, a specific clock. It doesn't, I mean, like most, unless you have some heart issues, it's supposed to be in a specific manner, in a specific time. So we all have an internal beat, and yeah, I think anyone can dance.
So okay, sometimes okay, like I heard this first in California, then it spread it all over where the cars they have these big bass speakers and you could hear them coming down the street. So you use that vibration with the ones that are deaf to get them to feel the vibration of the music and everything.
So what I did for them is that for my deaf students, so when I'm dancing with them, I'm in a hold. I'm putting my hand on their shoulders and
Sure.
I tap their shoulders in a specific way, like
Hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4,
It's
and then they get that rhythm in their head and they go by that beat.
Ah, okay. Wow. Because
What about Bonaphone technology
oh
stuff
my
where
gosh.
they put it on your collarbone? I mean, that's where your hearing comes from anyway.
Yes.
From the vibrations that your what's the bone in your ear called?
I'm
Uh,
actually unfamiliar with
the
that. Can you talk more about that? Because I'm unfamiliar with that.
Well, this came out in the 90s, I think, but
90s.
it was I seen it advertised on in an airline in a
They
airline
scrapped
magazine on a plane.
they scrapped the technology and they shouldn't have scrapped it.
Yeah, I
They
mean I thought that was fantastic technology. But
they
they put it on, it wraps around your shoulder, around your neck, and vibrates on your collarbone.
Yeah,
And
and
that's
what it
great.
does is it creates a resonance in the chest area, which goes up through your neck and then to the base of your skull, which then affects the cochlea, which allows for you to be able to hear better. The sound is transmitted, I guess, via vibration. So what they did was they started developing bone. What is it? Bone conduction technology, voice to skull technology, things like this. That's where the sound technology comes into play, where they've got those things on top of the buildings where it keeps birds away and that kind of thing. It emits a certain sound and that
Oh
kind of
yeah.
thing. That kind
Yeah.
of technology was developed because they realized that, by golly, sound actually does work this way.
Yes.
And so they decided to turn it into a different direction altogether.
Hmm.
It's what took place.
Yeah, I'll definitely look it up. That's very interesting.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you hope that the audience take away from after they've experienced your music and sound and visuals? What do you want the audience to take away from that?
I hope the audience, well, art is so subjective, first of all, and every single person will have a different thing that they would take away from it. Blooming Strings specifically, I would like the audience to know what love should feel like. Because sometimes we all don't necessarily have the correct idea of what love should feel like.
Yeah.
And Blooming Strings, in that, love is nurturing, love helps you grow, love feels
Hmm.
good, you know. And
Hmm.
sometimes we don't always have that love. Sometimes it has to be
Hmm.
self-love. Sometimes it
Uh-huh.
has to be the healthy voice within that that nurtures you, that helps you grow. And the person that makes you strong and the best version of yourself is you, who
That's right.
talks
That's right.
with a healthy inner voice. So I think that's what I hope the audience takes away from it.
Yeah.
And-
Where do you perform your music now that you're there? I can imagine some places when you're in Florida,
So,
but
I was surprised, but Alaska, Anchorage, where I am, there are a couple of venues that are really good for performing.
Yeah.
Right
Mm.
now, at this time, I'm working on my album, so I'm not performing anywhere, but I am working on my live show right now, and I will be performing soon. And when I do that, it will be a tour that I do, not just, I won't necessarily just stay here in Alaska. I will be going everywhere.
and so you have a booking agent that calls around and lines all these things up?
My sister.
Hey,
Awesome.
hey, you gotta
Awesome.
do
So
all
you're
kinds
kind of an indie artist. www.iamvelour.com. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where you can get all the information and when you're ready, all those dates and everything will be up there.
Yes.
And that's gonna be
Yes.
awesome. That's going to be awesome. Visit us at innervisionrecords.org for future shows. Set yourself up at info at actually, which one do
No,
we
but what,
do?
okay, it's Johnny at innervisionrecords.org for now.
And that'll hit the newsletter so that you can be up to date on each one of our new,
Different shows,
recording
yeah.
artists and this kind of thing. So
Yeah.
check that out. And
Hey.
don't forget Krispy Kreme and Regal Cinemas. We got a little bit of time on both of those.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
buy a couple of tickets, why, man, you're all set.
Yeah. Oh, and I gotta ask this for okay, 4th of July is coming up.
Yeah.
Will this be your first Fourth of July there, or
Yes,
what is that like?
actually, no. This will not be my first 4th of July here. I was here last 4th of July too, but I wasn't necessarily. I was moved here, but I think I was traveling. I was traveling outside. I was outside the country,
Mhm.
but yeah, this will be my first 4th of July here, and it will be definitely interesting. I don't have any plans. I'll probably be by my piano playing music.
You
You
see,
know, a really good place in Anchorage that you might look for inspiration, go to Earthquake Park.
Earthquake Park.
That is amazing out there.
All right, I'll definitely look that up. I might just go there and visit Earthquake Park. That sounds scary, but I'll definitely go there.
Hey, I had a friend talking about that stuff just the other day on Facebook. Wow, that's serendipitous. Huh. Tell us more about that, hey Joe. What is Earthquake Park?
It's was in the 60s they had that 7.5 earthquake or 8 point
Yeah.
whatever earthquake, and it dropped a whole area of land down like 10 feet or so.
10 feet or 12 feet, something like that.
And they made a
Yeah,
park on
went-
it?
Huh?
They made a park on it?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, oh wow. Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out.
Yeah.
It was in the winter when I was there, so it really didn't have much to see in the wintertime. But in summertime, I would imagine it's quite spectacular.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out. Thank you for sharing that.
Okay.
Portage Glacier too.
All right. Hey, we really appreciate you coming on the show and just really sharing your personality and your art and just everything, your whole aura. And we want to wish you like much success and let us know when that album comes out so we'll pump it on this side.
Yep, buddy.
Absolutely. And it's been really a pleasure to meet all of you. I think what you guys are doing is amazing, having a show like this. I've never heard of something like this. And so I was looking a bit about you guys too and researching online. It was like, wow, you guys are amazing. What you guys are
Yeah, we
doing.
kind of want to keep that home feel because a lot of AI content is being created. And so, we want to sort of try to keep it real here.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Absolutely. And so I really appreciate everything you guys are doing. And yeah, more people, if there's anything I can do to promote you guys, yes, please let me know.
Oh, definitely. All right, we'll see everybody tomorrow, and we'll be interviewing Summer Breeze, and so stay tuned for that. And for Innervision FM Music News, this is Johnny J, Alan C, Hey Joe, and Velour saying goodbye for now.